Hey everyone, in this video we are going to model Plummer block. So this is going to be a series in which we'll be modeling and assembling, creating the drawings from the design, animation, and if possible simulation and manufacturing. So all the videos will be released sequentially and I'll release one video every week. And there is a drawing for this, so I'll supply this file in the description. Please download it. And here we have disassembly, the part drawing and assembly drawing. So the dimensions that are missing here will be found in the assembly drawing. So let's inspect the parts here. So if you see, this is our base and this is our cap on which it sits. You can see the assembly. So this is our base, this is our cap. So this is our cap which is sitting on the top of base, and these are two bolts, and we have bearing brasses. So there are two components of bearing brasses. You can see the split here. So let me walk you through the workflow we are going to do. See, we are going to start from this base, particularly from this center point, and we'll create a sketch and extrude it. Then almost all the things will be done in the base, followed by cap, then the bearing brasses, and then bolt. So bolt also, we'll model this bolt, but when it comes to nut, we'll import it from the McMaster car component. So without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to start from here. So I simply draw lines and trace this profile. I'm going to create a sketch, front plane. So here, selecting the line and draw a line about close to 32 mm. Do not bother about the dimension now. One line I got, and this is because we are going to create an arc from here to here. Okay, that is just for a reference now. So again, one more line, and so if you're feeling the grid is getting snapped, you can turn it off here. Turn off the snap to grid, and now it won't snap to the grid. And if you see, there is a small cut here. So we have drawn this line and there is a small cut. So we'll just do that and close it. I'm going to select now apply the constraints. So almost all constraints are applied. So we just have to apply horizontal constraint for this line. Select the line, apply horizontal constraint. Done. So we have this line and this line. So I'm going to make these two lines as construction. Later we'll delete those also, and draw an arc, center point arc from here to here. So I want this arc to coincide here. So let the arc radius be D on the keyboard for dimension 32, and this distance be 2 mm, and this distance be, if you see in the drawing, we have 210. So if you divide that by half, we get 105 plus 25, that is 130. So input 130 here, and the height from this line to this line be 22 mm. The distance from this point to this point be 2 mm, and the distance from here to here be 25. Pressing escape to get rid of the selection. This dimension, this line and this line be 63. Yes, and from this line to this point be 72 mm. See, this dimension of 72 you can find it in the assembly drawing, which is here in the part drawing. It is not given, whereas if you see here we have 144, so half of that is 72. So from that we got 72. Adjust the dimensions so that it is clean and neat to see, and whenever you want to even change the dimension, it is convenient for you. So we are done with the sketch. I'm going to finish it. So one more thing also you can do is, if you edit the sketch, right click edit, even you can delete this. You can use fillet to create that also, so both options are fine. So I'm just going to, let's say, draw these two lines, and let me give the dimension for this 32, enter, and let me select these two and make them equal constraint. So I have selected both the lines and made equal constraint. Now in the further step I'm going to use fillet. Finish the sketch, select the profile, press E for extrude or select the extrude over here, and in the dialog box I'm going to change the direction to symmetric. And if you see the extrude distance, see from here to here it is 64 mm, so you just enter 64. But before entering, see here in the measurement you have to see this is half length, so you just change it to whole length. Now enter 64 mm. Make sure it is new body, of course it will be new body since it is starting, and say OK. Now we got the body. Okay, so we can see the sketch and body. But before this, I just want you to make sure that since it is an assembly, so we create a component and we do all the features under that, but we did not create the component in the beginning. So what I can do is, I can go ahead in the timeline by just dragging this head, right click, new component, or here you have in the assemble, new component. So make sure it is internal, and you can activate it too, no problem. And in the name, just rename it as base, because we are creating base component. So, and this approach is called top down approach, because we are creating the body or the component within the file, and say OK. Now the base component got created, but there are no features or bodies in it. So if you go to the top level, if you activate the top level, so here you have the sketch and extrude. So now I want this sketch to be included in this. So automatically all the further features came inside the base. So every time you create this, so first you create a component if it is having more components inside. So that is a good way, and please make sure you save your design. Plummer block, and make sure the location, hit save. Fine. So let's apply the fillet now. Modify, fillet, and select the edge, and let the fillet radius be 32. and say OK here. Perfect. Now if you see the drawing, we have a slot here. So the slot dimensions are 22 from extreme ends, and from top to bottom it is 16. I'm going to create a sketch. So make sure you select this plane. Now create slot. There are various types of slots available here. So the one you have to select is this one, overall slot, because it is giving me extreme points and this point. Or else you can draw any slot and later give the dimensions, that is also fine. Say this and draw the slot, and see I'm pressing escape to get rid of the slot, and it is movable. So let's constrain this. Select the constraint, horizontal vertical constraint, select the point. So these two are aligned together, and now there is still movement because we did not give the dimensions. So let's select this line and press D on the keyboard for dimension. Let this be 22 mm. So if you see it is not coinciding, so what you can do is, yes, if you just drag it, it will come, and again repeat the dimension. Make sure you are getting line dimension, and this is 16. Yes, now we need the distance from at which the slot is located. So now we have the distance, that is from center to here, it is 105. So let's give that distance. So to give that distance, I need a point here, but we are not having any point. So create point and put a point here. Yes, again D on the keyboard, select this point and the origin, let the dimension be 105 mm. Now it is fully constrained. Just adjust the dimensions. Yes, finish the sketch, home view, press E on the keyboard or select extrude from here. Select the profile, and here extend type, there is distance, but if you choose all, so whatever the way that is there, it will extrude cut. So it has detected the geometry downwards and it automatically given it down. Make sure the operation is cut and say OK. Yes, our base is almost done. We need to provide hole for the bolt, but we'll do that after creating the cap. Again, create a new component, that is cap. Say OK. Now if you see, this component which is base got slightly faded, and we have active component cap. Let's create a sketch. If you notice, the history, that is timeline, is also empty since we did not create anything. Now if you create a sketch, so you can see the sketch feature got created in the timeline. So let's see the drawing for the cap. So if you see the drawing, so it is going to sit here. So this point and this point are common, and there is a height from this line. Okay, so that height is given over here in the assembly drawing, that is 5 mm. Fine. So now what we will do is, we'll create a construction circle for now. So why I'm creating this circle? So I'm not getting this point actually. So what you can do is, you go to preferences in your profile, and here in the general design you select auto project edges on reference and apply. Okay, so this option will give you that point. So whenever you come to any geometry that is previously created, it will auto project. So this is one way. Or see, if you did not enable that option, you have to press P on the keyboard and select this point to project. So that's why that auto project is going to help you save some clicks. Circle again. So I just created a circle. Now see, I want 5 mm height from this. I just create a line just like this. I'll dimension it later, and this line is up to here, and again line from here to here. I'm just drawing the cap profile in position itself. So there are two methods actually. So in the bottom up approach, so you will create a component from origin or in the new design, but we are doing top down approach. So since we have the base already, so it would be appropriate to create the component here itself in the position. It's fine. I'm going to draw a line, top line like this, and one more line. Right click, say OK. Again, I'm going to draw a circle from here to here, line again, close this geometry like this. Now press T on the keyboard, or in the modify you can use trim. Select this circle to trim it off. Again this circle also you can trim it. So you can see we got the profile exactly. So what we are doing is we are creating half side of this, then we'll use mirror to duplicate onto the other, saving you a lot of time. So let's give the dimensions. Pressing escape, D on the keyboard, and from here to here we have seen the distance is 5 mm. Enter, and from here to here it is 6 mm. You will find that distance in the assembly drawing, and this distance is 20 mm. This arc radius is 58 mm, and one dimension or constraint that is left for this line is horizontal. Just apply that. Yes, as you see the sketch is black, it is fully constrained. Home view, extrude, same direction, change it to symmetric, whole length, let the distance be 64, and say OK. And if you activate the top level, we got two components. I'm going to press Shift N so that it will automatically assign colors to the components so that it is easy for us to identify. And here if you see, we got pink color for base and yellow color for the cap. And here in the timeline also you can notice the differences. So all the yellow color components are having one color and pink color having another color. And for the top level, that is our browser Plummer block, we have pink color. So whatever the components that you create, it will be pink color. Fine. Now since we got this cap, let's provide hole here. But before that, we forgot one thing. See, we need to create one slot over here. So I'm going to activate base again. create a sketch, line, just draw this profile, simply close it like this. Make sure you are picking the edge so that it will auto constrain. Now dimension, distance from here to here be 6 mm. You can find these dimensions in the drawings. Distance from here to here is 2 mm and this dimension be 12 mm. Finish the sketch, select the profile, E on the keyboard for extrude home view. So I want the extrude to be all the way, so in the extend select all, make sure it is cut and say OK. Done. Now activate the top level. Now let's provide the hole for the bolt. So we'll provide it from the top and we will extend to the all the way to the cap. I'm going to create a sketch. So why I need to locate the hole first. I'm not going to use circle and again some dimensions to create the hole, but I'm going to create it using the hole directly. So to locate the hole, I just need the point. If it is a cylinder, I can select the concentric or external circle to make it concentric. But here in this case, we are not having any cylinders for the reference, so I have to create a sketch. Simply I'm going to draw the line. So if you see this hole, so 105 is the distance between the two holes. So I'm going to enter, just click here and D on the keyboard, the dimension be 105. So here I want half of it. I can calculate by mentally or just divide it here itself. So this will give me the half of that length. Select the line and say construction. Now I got the point. Finish it. Home view. Select the hole and hole point is this. And if you see the bottom side, so that point is picked and we have one control, that is diameter of the hole. Now if you see the settings in the hole type, we have counter bore, countersink. In this case I want counter bore. See, actually it is a square headed bolt, so we need to create the square here. So that we will do after creating the counter bore hole. So now I select this counter bore. I got some more options. See, that is this hole dia. So the hole dia is 19 mm and this is my counter bore dia. So the counter bore dia is 30 mm and counter bore depth, so this depth be 12 mm. And if you see, we got the hole height. So in the hole height, same in the extend, you select all and say OK. Yes, we got the hole now. One final operation we'll do and we'll close it here. Create a sketch again. I'm going to draw a rectangle. Center rectangle. Select the center point and draw it roughly like this. And now I need to make it coincident with this circle top point. So to get the nodes, I don't have the coordinate nodes. So to get the nodes, I'm going to draw lines. So make sure it is vertical. If you are not getting, just create it roughly. And again, create one more line. Use horizontal vertical constraint. Select this and this. Fine. Pressing escape to get rid of the constraint. select both the lines. In the line tab, choose construction. And now press escape. Select the coincident. Select the point, line. Now everything is constrained. Select the geometry. Press E on the keyboard for extrude. And here in the extend type, we have seen distance and all. Let's see two objects. So if you set two objects, you can pick the object here. So until that, it will cut the material. And now say OK. Perfect. So you got your hole created. Now it's a good point to save it. So this is all for this video. In the next video, we are going to create the bolt and bearing brasses. If you are stuck at any point, just put your comment below. I'll respond to you as soon as possible. So it may be common that you encounter some issues. If you miss any small step also, if you deviate, so you'll get different results. So I request you to follow the same, and as you gain over the experience with Fusion, it will be handy for you. So again, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next video.